I'm Cole Agar, Director of Graduate and International Programs at the School of Transnational Law, and during today's coffee break, I'm going to be answering questions about scholarships. Possibly the number one question we get is simply, can I get a scholarship to your program? And the answer is absolutely yes. In fact, the majority of our admitted LLM candidates will receive some scholarship funding to help bring down the cost of their program. So then, often an important follow-up question is, what are the types of scholarships that are available? And I'd say there's three main categories of scholarships our students get. The first is scholarships from the law school. Second, scholarships from the Chinese government. And finally, essentially all other types of third-party scholarships. So this could be scholarships from the applicant's home country, from an international organization, or maybe a charitable institution. So on the topic of the scholarships from the law school, big question, how do you apply? And there's great news here. Actually, no extra application process is required. So we will evaluate candidates based on the same documents that they have already submitted to apply for our LLM program. We often get asked if our applicants are eligible to receive the Chinese government scholarship. And as I've already indicated, the answer is yes. If you're not familiar with the Chinese government scholarship, sometimes called the CGS for short, this is sort of like the Fulbright program, but for China. It's often seen as very prestigious, it can be very generous, but it is a bit complicated and burdensome to apply. So the most common question we get about the CGS, or maybe I should say the biggest misconception we get, is will it fully fund the LLM program? And the answer is no. You will find online it referred to as a fully funded scholarship. The reality is, in like the fine print, it is capped at 30,000 RMB per year. So for a top program like ours at Peking University, this will cover about 1/3 of your tuition. But then there's another important question, which is, what else will a CGS cover? And this is one of the best things about these government scholarships. They can cover costs beyond your tuition. So for example, it will cover all or most of your dormitory fees, your health insurance, and it will even pay students a monthly living stipend of 3,000 RMB per month while they are studying in China. So that's fantastic. Important question, how do you apply for a CGS? The type that our students have had the best track record in receiving is a Category A CGS award. And you apply for this type through the Chinese embassy in your home country. Now, there's an important note here. Because it is on a country-by-country basis, the exact application process may be different from one country to another. So you want to make sure that when you're doing your research, you look for information specific to the country from which you're applying. There's a related question here, which is, when is the application deadline? Again, the same principle applies. It's country by country. So you need to make sure that you check the application deadline specific to your country. The window often ranges maybe from January to maybe April. I know that an applicant has started doing their research on the CGS if we get a question about whether we can issue a pre-admissions letter. So the key issue here is some CGS applications require a pre-admissions letter showing that the student is already accepted to the university that they want to attend. For some, it's only recommended. Now, no surprise here. If you want a pre-admissions letter, you need to already have been admitted. So my strong recommendation here is if you're planning to apply for a CGS award, make sure you submit your application to our LLM program as early as possible. Our application cycle opens around October, so my recommendation would be try to get in your application before December. That way we can review it early, and if you've been admitted, we can try to issue you a pre-admissions letter by January to help with your CGS application. When you will find out if you've received a CGS is a point of some frustration with many of our applicants. You may find out as early as May or June, but we have a lot of applicants who don't find out if they've been selected until August, and our program starts in mid-August. So that's something that you're going to need to set your expectations about. If you want to increase your chances of getting one of these government scholarships, I have two main recommendations. The first is apply as early as possible, or specifically really start looking into the process as early as possible. Don't procrastinate, because you may find out that there are complications you weren't expecting. And the second is tap into your network. If you have friends or family members or work colleagues who have previously studied in China on one of these government scholarships, talk to them, because they're going to be the person best able to give you insider information to help you navigate the process. And a final catch-all question we get is something like, what are the other things that you can do to fund your LLM? For students from some countries, you may be able to look into student loans or other types of loans. Once you're on campus, you may also be able to get something like a research assistant position with one of our professors. This can pay you a small stipend, which can help bring down the cost of the program. And we've also had a lot of students be pretty successful at getting paid internships or other work opportunities during their program, which again can help cover some of the costs of their program. And we'll have another video on that topic. That's it for today. If you have any other questions about funding your studies at the School of Transnational Law or any other topic, please feel free to reach out to our admissions office at any time, and I'll have a link to that below in the description.